Welcome to the premier aviation podcast you'll never want to miss. We go behind the scenes with aviation experts and leaders for success stories, travel tips and tricks, and lessons learned that you can use. From Offland Media, this is the Jet Set Podcast. Honestly, I wish I'd known about this industry sooner. There's more to aviation than just the military and commercial airline carriers. I also wish someone had told me that there was a desperate need for talent and that there were numerous opportunities out there to find a career path. I just needed to have the resources available to me. Flying privately didn't need to break the bank. There are a lot of ways to get going without owning a plane. You know, I grew up thinking that this was just for the lifestyles of the rich and famous. But discovering all the other options now available is completely something else. I know that this industry is a way of life and still isn't for everyone, but the opportunities are if you let it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the very first episode of the Jet Set Podcast. This is episode 0, where it all starts. This is the premier aviation podcast that will make sure you are not looking back thinking about all the things you wish you'd known. My name is Chris, and I'm your host for the Jet Set Podcast, coming to you straight from the Offland Media Studios. Now, if you're familiar with the aviation industry, awesome. If you know nothing about flying, no problem at all, because this podcast is for anyone who wants to learn more or dreams of doing it one day. We're going to feature different industry thought leaders on most episodes, telling their stories, successes, failures, and most interestingly, things they wish they'd known. On other episodes, we'll talk to the experts, people from all over the industry that have helped this industry grow into what we see today and where they see it going. Now, this sounds all very cool, but let's back up for a minute. Yeah, so what? I can speak into a microphone, but let's cover some basics first. Who the heck am I? What is Offland? What is this all about? So I'll start with Offland. Offland.com is the premier media partner in the world for the private and business aviation industry to connect with the millennial and Generation Z markets. You see, the thing is, the aviation industry is dealing with a number of issues right now that you probably weren't aware of. For example, there's a worldwide shortage of qualified pilots that are needed to meet current and projected demands. That means the military, commercial, and business aviation have to get creative to come up with new solutions to address this. And that's just one side of the equation. Boeing just recently released its 2018 Pilot and Technician Outlook and projected that demands are requiring 790,000 new civil aviation pilots and 754,000 new maintenance technicians and another 890,000 new cabin crew that will be needed to fly and maintain the world fleet over the next 20 years. Now think about that for a second. Those are some pretty staggering numbers. And those numbers are inclusive of the commercial, business aviation, and civil helicopter industries. Consumers, on the other hand, are the other part of the equation and something else that has to be taken into consideration. In my industry, business aviation, there's not much known to the general public, and the industry hasn't done itself any favors when it comes to attracting new markets. You know, consumer markets and buying behaviors have altered every other industry landscape out there. If you don't think so, just ask Toys R Us, Blockbuster, and Dell how that went for them. And yet business aviation is still lagging behind the times. There was a Nielsen report that was just released in Q1 of 2018 from their total audience report and found that adults aged 18 and older watch nearly 6 hours of video a day, 5 hours and 57 minutes to be exact, which is up 11 minutes from the previous quarter. And yet, it's hard to find good, high-quality content about business aviation that helps audiences make educated decisions when it comes time to choosing a company or brand to engage with. I know this because I see it firsthand, and I've talked to a lot of people in the industry that share the same sentiments. And that's where Offland Media comes into play. We help companies connect with the most desired audiences out there, specifically millennials and Generation Z, and help them become the obvious choice in their market. We've gathered award-winning and internationally recognized talent from all over the world to build a company that truly partners with its clients to deliver real, measurable results. Most importantly, We understand aviation inside and out because the company was born from it. And now you're probably wondering how that happened and who am I? Well, I'm Chris Kiocho, and aviation is pretty much all I've known my entire adult life. You see, it all started about 15 years ago. I was a newly commissioned officer in the United States Army that was fortunate enough to be selected to the aviation branch. I went on to fly UH-60 Black Hawk helicopters, the ones you've probably seen in movies like Black Hawk Down. Got to have a few command positions, deployed to Afghanistan, and then found myself trying to figure out what to do next. I went on to start and own a few aviation companies. Those opportunities led from one thing to the next, and now here I am. I've been lucky enough to have been published in Forbes, Ariana Huffington's Thrive Global, Success Magazine, Authority Magazine, Business Insider, and a handful of other online publications and websites. I serve in leadership positions within my industry through the National Business Aviation Association, or NBAA as most know it, and I'm still pretty young by industry standards. So through all of my experiences, and especially as of late, I saw that there was a huge need and opportunity. So that's a little about me. I'm not coming to you as an expert. I'm coming to you because we know how to help you find them. The Jet Set podcast is going to have some great stories and examples of what to do and what not to do from people that have lived it themselves. But you're going to be able to take away real-life advice and tips from each and every episode. You can look forward to guests that range from air race pilots to doctors that practice medicine at 40,000 feet. So I hope that sounds good to you because I'm excited to get started. We've got some amazing people and experts coming up in the next few episodes, but I also want to hear from you. If you've got a question, let us know. This show is only good if we're able to help you out. And if you think you've got a great story and want to be a guest, let us know. You can reach us at connect@offland.com. And I can't wait to hear from you guys, and I'll see you on the next episode of the Jet Set Podcast, and please don't forget to subscribe. Hey everyone, thank you so much for listening to the Jet Set Podcast. You are the reason we do it, and it would seriously mean the world to us if you can go and leave a rating on iTunes. Your recommendation is the fuel that keeps us going.